it is time to kick off a brand new season in our Colorado Rockies draft-only franchise. But before we do that, there are a couple things that I would like to talk about from spring training for those who did not watch the stream because they couldn't or just because they didn't want to. Either way, just a quick recap of a couple of items of news from that stream. Number one is that Kyle Brown, I think, did just enough to earn himself a spot on the opening day roster. 284 average was one of the highest on the entire team. We did not have a very strong spring training, I'll just say that. And he was one of the guys that hit decently well. I just think we could use a guy who could hit for a little bit more contact, especially with that clutch being so high. We're going to sacrifice some defense at that second base spot. But as we'll talk about in just a minute, the pitching might be so bad that it doesn't even matter. So let's go to that pitching now. Once again, just not a lot of positive to talk about. It looks like it might be another tough year pitching for us. We did make Sean Jelly a starting pitcher because overall went up a ton. I started spring training off well, but didn't finish it off very well. The only real starter that shined for us was Eric Lauer, and he did well enough that he will be the starting pitcher today just because he played so much better than everyone else. I was particularly disappointed in what we saw from Chase Dollander. Was hoping after another year of development he could come back and have himself a strong spring, but he ended up with an 8.39 ERA and a 2 WHIP in 24 innings. Did strike out a lot of players, but when we watched him in the first game we watched here in the stream, he got absolutely shelled, and it's opened up the door for us to maybe consider trading him. And trades is exactly what I want to talk about next up here. And not saying I'm 100% committed to trading Dollander. I still have a lot of hope that we can make it work for him. But I talked about in the stream that we didn't quite have the ammo to trade for Dwayne Perry, who is the best overall pitcher there is on the trade market that is not on the other team's 40-man roster. However, if we do add Chase Dollander to the equation, then we could potentially be getting Dwayne Perry. Now, we still have to offer something else, but we could offer like a Rich Hayes here, who's only 59 overall. Does have a potential, but that would be enough to get the trade done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the comments section. There will be a pinned comment that you can vote in the replies of. Please vote in those replies rather than in separate comments. You can, of course, offer some additional insight, but for the vote, please vote in those replies for one of the following 3 trades. This is going to be one of them. Dwayne Perry, 77 overall, 20 years old. Here's what his ratings look like. 6'5" here. For durability, we got 67 here. This will be the first trade offer. Of course, this one we're giving up the most because I like Dollander, but we're also getting a guy who is the best to start off. Now, that is trade number 1. The second trade that I will be allowing you guys to vote on is, let me find the Royals here. They've got a pitcher here in James Ungerer, who we should be able to get for McGaffick and Rich Hayes. And Ungerer here from Colorado, so that's a little bit of a bonus, but what I really like about his ratings is that his clutch and his home runs per 9 are both very high. Of course, he is a year younger, but he also has probably a year more development behind Dwayne Perry. But we could be giving up Michael McGaffick instead, who, like Dollander, has just been a guy who's struggled whenever we've hopped in and watched him. And then the final trade is a trade here with the Padres, for a lefty, just because we've had a lot of, we haven't had a lot of luck, I should say, getting lefties in the organization. We only have one on the entire roster that has at least B potential. So adding to that with Robbie Snelling, a 73 overall guy, he's definitely the oldest here. But the reason he's in contention is just because he offers that lefty skill set that we just don't have elsewhere in the organization. So these will be the 3 trades that I am allowing you guys to vote on, and whoever wins is going to be who we trade for in the next episode. Taking a look at the team ranking ahead of the season, we are still ranked as the worst team in baseball. However, we are no longer ranked as the worst team in any individual category. We are second to last in power, but we're 22nd in contacts, 28th in pitching. So while we're still at the bottom, we're starting to see a little bit of progress, as last year we were, of course, last in contact, power, and pitching. But last thing I want to do before we talk about, or before we hop into the first game, is I do want to just quickly show you the ratings that we're rocking with, the lineups, and for all three levels. So here is what we're doing for the MLB level. We've got AAA, where we'll be doing this. I actually think I forgot to order this lineup in AAA, so I might have to do that quickly off screen. But we don't have a lot of big time prospects at the AAA level. Really, the AA level is where we got a lot of our guys here. Cortez, Herrera, Dorsey, Doe here to lead off the AA lineup is going to be pretty dang impressive for us against both lefties and righties. But with that being said, let's do the pitching rotation now. Here is our AA pitching rotation. Here is our AAA pitching rotation. And here is our MLB pitching rotation with closers Maury Lozano at the Major League, Cole McCracklin at AAA, and Dusty Coleman in AA. That being said, we are ready to hop into the first game of the season. Without further ado, let's hop into it. The 2027 opening day bout against the division rival D-backs is set to take place. I believe this is the first time we have been on the road. It's not like we've had an incredibly large sample size, of course, of opening days. This is just our third here of the series. 2-0 so far in this series, trying to make it a hat trick. Also our second consecutive opening day against the D-backs, and just like last year, we were facing off against Brandon Pfaadt on the mound. Last year, just a 4.5 ERA with a 1.34 whip. Certainly not bad by any means, but hoping we can take advantage of him and generate some offense here today. Sterling Thompson not making his MLB debut, but it is the first AB of his rookie season. Goes for a ground out. Here is a look at what our lineup is projected. Only a couple of guys over 250 here in Salas and Murillo. Salas here cracks this one through the infield for a base knock to start his year. Had 2 homers the last game of spring training, and hoping that would get him off to a hot start in the regular season. And so far, so good. 1 for 1. Trying to go for a steal here, and not a very good throw from Moreno, but still got him. That throw kind of hung up in the air for a second, but Salas certainly has good speed for a catcher, but I wouldn't call it elite speed by any means. And we get caught stealing on our first attempt. So now it's no one on the base paths for Murillo, who just flies out to right field anyway. So a quiet first for our Rockies, just 1 hit. Eric Lauer got the start after a strong spring training on opening day, but it's not going to be a strong start to the season. Geraldo Perdomo absolutely mashed that baseball. Starting off our season giving up a home run, something that has been cursing our pitching even when we're not in Coors. And that one was just hit on an absolute rope. Did not get very high, but he just crushed the ball for 374 feet. An exit velocity over 110 miles an hour. Marte up next, and we will get the first out. Seeing Figueroa play at first base for the first time. Just contrasting kind of our lineup projections with the Diamondbacks. They have 2 guys projected to hit at least 280, where we only have 1. Our first 3 guys all projected to get there. So we still got ourselves a way to go, but I do think there's more excitement surrounding this team than there have been in the years past. We have more and more prospects joining the bigs every year, and we're starting to resemble a team that has a bright future here. Solace unable to get Corbin Carroll there. Not the best throw, but I don't know if it would have mattered. Corbin Carroll has some absolute wheels. Gurriel looking to bring him home with a base knock to center field. That'll bring home run number 2 for the Diamondbacks here in the first inning. Not an excellent start for Lauer. Just a curved ball left just inside the zone. Wasn't a terrible pitch, to be honest, but Yoan Moncada will fly out here to Veen over in right field for the second out. Bringing up Rhys Hoskins. Maybe getting away with leaving one over the middle there. Could have been maybe a little bit worse of an inning for Lauer, but it was a risk making him our opening day starter. He's certainly not our most talented pitcher, but thought he earned it after spring. But not the best start to his season. Same here for Joey Meneses as we get a cool angle here on that strikeout. Kyle Brown, his first at-bat of his major league career is going to be a ground out over to short. So we'll have to wait a little longer for his first hit. Being hitting in the 6th spot today. He gets that one off the glove of Hoskins, and he is safe. Throw can't quite catch the runner, so Veen with a single. Trying to steal. This time we are safe. 1 for 2 so far in our steal attempts, and Veen's first stolen base of the season. Full count for Figueroa. Broken bat will get him out to end of the second. 2 scoreless innings for the Rockies. Got a hit in both innings. But the D-backs lead by 2, and Moreno starting off this second for them with another hit. Matt Chapman acquired via free agency. Went from one division rival to another here. He grounds into the double play, 4-6-3. Involving 2 of the middle infielders that we hope to be part of our organization for a long time to come. 2-2 pitch for Alec Thomas. Brown spinning and throwing on targets. One of the big concerns for having Brown be the everyday second baseman this year was his defense, but he showed some nice plays in that inning, as Jordan Beck will give us another base runner, but can we actually do anything with it this time around? We've got the 9-hitter up, and Cerny goes down swinging. Second strikeout of the day for Brandon. Order flips over for Sterling Thompson, and he cannot check his swing. Try to hold it back, but umpire says he goes around. So the third fat strikeout, and we get caught stealing again. This is not a good stolen base team. It's not something that I've prioritized, so I wish we would try a little bit less often to do it, because we're just going to get caught stealing a lot. We don't have a lot of speed. Geraldo Perdomo homered in his first at-bat, but infield fly will get him out here in the third. Marte had a pitch over the middle and gets robbed of a hit with the liner over to Zach Veen. 2 up, 2 down. So far, the best inning we've gotten from Lauer. And Corbin Carroll with a solo shot. I just had to say something, didn't I? The first homer of the season for the young star outfielder. A blast gives the Diamondbacks their third run so far. So now a 3-hole deficit for our Rockies to climb out of. Second homer so far allowed from Lauer. Gurriel is out over in left field to end off the inning. But Corbin Carroll extends the lead for the Diamondbacks. Ethan Salas up. He got on base his first time. Well hit over in left field, and it is in for a ground rule double. The first hard hit of the season. Had to wait a little bit longer than I was hoping to get it, but Salas so far 2 for 2. Showing us something. Now Murillo has a chance to bring home the first Rockies run. Can't do it here, but he will advance Salas into sac fly territory for Joey Meneses. He's got 99 batting clutch, and he lifts this one to right center field. Hauled in by Carroll, but that should give Salas a chance to come home. With a perfect throw from Carroll, that would have actually been a pretty close play, but the first run is across the board, courtesy of Meneses. That 99 batting clutch coming in to play there as Brown strikes out to end the fourth. Sterling Thompson there making the easy play to lead off the fourth. Moncada 0 for 2 today. Rhys Hoskins can't make the play. Jordan Beck out in left field, so it'll be extra bases for Rhys. An errant throw all the way into foul territory. Rhys trying to go for 3, and he's out. Tried to take advantage of the inaccurate Jordan Beck throw, but Lauer does an excellent job covering third, and we got him. Excellent defensive play after a bit of a mishap over in left field, and the grounder will end the fourth. Veen up for his second time. Hits it over to first, but this time he will be out. Figueroa looking for his first career hit. And not quite gonna get it there. Marte makes the play. Over at second base. Beck walks his first AB. Gonna get on base again. So Salas and Beck are the only guys consistently getting on base for us. Both have gotten there twice already. We just cannot do a great job of bringing these guys home. It's a tough one there for the most part, walks and singles. I'll give you that. Lauer allows Chapman a free base here in the fifth. Only the first time he's allowed a walk. Has had some other problems so far in his opening day start, but walks have not been there. And Sterling Thompson could not glove it. So the first error of the season for Thompson. He's a pretty good defender for us over in third. Not something we expect to see frequently from him. Little bloop single from Perdomo is now going to load the bases. Tough inning for Lauer. I don't think most of it was his fault, but ultimately that will end his day. Gonna be a tough situation for anyone to hop into here. And the replacement will be Michael Prosecki here. Don't know if I'd go from one lefty to another. These Diamondbacks are mashing our previous lefty. I'd probably switch to a righty here, but it's not my decision to make, so Prosecki comes in. No outs, bases juiced, and Ketel Marte back and caught at the warning track. Thought for a second it might be a homer, but it will advance the runners from second and third for a sacrifice fly. Corbin Carroll looking to maybe get another one here. It's chopped over to Brown, who makes the play at second, but it will drive in the fifth Diamondbacks run. Runner on first for Gurriel. Salas trying to throw out Corbin Carroll, and even on a pitch out, we can't get him with all that speed. Gurriel lines it over directly at Jordan Beck, though, to end the inning, but did not do a great job of getting ourselves out of that jam in that inning. I'll just say that. Still bringing home 2 runs. Thompson A deep fly ball to left for the first out here, top of the 6th. Really need to get something going offensively. We want any chance in this game. Diamondbacks consistently putting a run or two on the board seemingly every inning. We need a big one. But unfortunately, despite having the top of our order up, we are down 1, 2, 3. Brasecki here to start the bottom of the 6th. Will get himself an out. Moncada, one of the few Diamondbacks not having himself a good day. Hoskins with a walk. 1 on and 1 down for Gabriel Moreno. This could be 2, 5, 4, 3. Double play the second time we've gotten the Diamondbacks to ground into a double play. One of the few good things we've done today. Meneses hard hit over to Hoskins, but he has a good reaction time there for the first out. Brown, can he get on the board for the first time? No, he can't. Striking out for the second time, swinging. That has his number so far. Veen now. Another well-struck ball over to first, while Hoskins getting that reaction time tested and passing the test both times. Still just 1 run on the board for the Rockies. Chapman, deep to the corner. It is off the ground and in for an automatic double. Alec Thomas up next. It's it to foul territory. Zach Veen giving chase and up against the wall. He makes the play. I will advance Chapman over to third. Sacrifice fly territory for Perdomo, who can't be out on the single as Kyle Brown just could not glove it there. The defense starting to come into play a bit. Ketel Marte will make it runners on first and second. And it's just every inning. The Diamondbacks are doing something to put runs on the board, and a diving play is missed by Veen. That's a lot of speed on the base pass. Corbin Carroll is going to get an inside the park home run on this play, making it 9-1 for the Diamondbacks. This is not a play you see often in MLB The Show. But Corbin Carroll certainly has the speed, and when you miss on a diving attempt in the outfield, that opens the doorway for a play like that for sure. Gurriel goes around that slider outside, so hopefully we can get some stability in the pitching. I think we've pretty much lost this game, as Moncada will make it 1-10. At this point, I think we just watched the highlights. I don't know about you, but I think I've seen enough of watching every at-bat in this game. I mean, the Diamondbacks are showing that there is still quite a bit of way to go for this Rockies team to truly compete in this division. Just too much offense. Our offense isn't consistent enough. Omar Figueroa here would get his first career hit to lead off the 8th inning. Good for him. A single cracked over to left field in his 3rd at-bat of his major league career. Alec Thomas would send home another long ball for the Diamondbacks, making it 11-1. Just way too many home runs allowed, man, and we're not in Coors. I don't know if it's a slider problem. I feel like my sliders aren't really a problem. I mean, we have 1 run. Granted, we're not the best team ever. I just think the Diamondbacks had our number today. Speaking of guys who had our number, Corbin Carroll, his 3rd home run of the game, the 2nd, the more traditional way. Of course, had that insane inside the park home run his last time up, but Jeff Ramirez, his one weakness is his home runs per 9. So not a major surprise here, but that would pretty much do it for this ball game. A 13-1 loss on opening day after being 2-0 to start this series with objectively worse teams is an eye-opener. We might be in for another tough season. I knew that, we're the 30th ranked team in baseball still, but I thought our arrow might be pointing up. Might take a little bit longer for it to get all the way up, though. The Diamondbacks handed it to us today. After the game, we would end up simulating through the month of March, and we'll end the month at a record of 3-4, losing a series to the Diamondbacks, but coming and winning a 3-game series against the Giants to start the year. Coming up next episode, we've got ourselves the start of the AA season and the most anticipated debut of this series in Neil Dorsey. So, I think to finish off this episode, I like to just get a snapshot of the top prospects in baseball. We currently have number 1 and number 2 in all of baseball with Dorsey and Barreto. The future of our pitching looking promising, though the current situation not looking necessarily great. After that, the next Rocky is Chris Benoit. We got Clemente Herrera down at 21. I would definitely have Herrera ranked ahead of Benoit in my personal rankings. Brian Doe at 24. We have Herb Reyes at 31. Anton Hernandez at 48. Kyle Brown at 53, though he will not be a prospect much longer. Raymond Park at 60. Jeff Ramirez at 68. And Rich Hayes down here at 90. So we have a total of 13 players in the top 100. That's what it was saying on opening day, but it looks like Sterling Thompson might have been included in that, or maybe Michael McGaffick, who are no longer in that top 100. So as it currently stands, we're down to 12 in the top 100 MLB prospects, which is still a really, really good number to see. And of course, Neil Dorsey coming up in the next episode will be a very, very fun thing to see. But as for this episode, that's all I've got. Hope you enjoyed it despite the tough loss. We're ready to get the 2027 season underway. The Neil Dorsey debut will be coming up next, and I will see you then. Go Rockies.